Hi friends, welcome to another monthly favorite, and we are zeroing in on May because it's already June and I could feel the speed of the summer season flying by. It goes by quickly and I know people hate that, but I don't. If it's your first time here, I am an enthusiastic autumn enjoyer. Summer I tolerate. I do enjoy the longer daylight hours. Yes, seeing the sun rise at 5 instead of 7 a.m. helps the energy levels stay up, and taking after dinner walks more appealing because again the sun is still out, but the heat and the humidity, the fact that I can just stand and still sweat just by breathing alone, not looking forward to those conditions. But anyway, May was an excellent makeup month. Following April I gushed over my Sephora purchases that I made during the spring sale, and May has definitely been the month of liquid bronzers. Yes, I am speaking about these two here that I will go into momentarily. If you want to see these in action in short form, I have two YouTube shorts featuring these products, and I have used them for a fair amount of time and figured out, I think, how I love to use them individually, because although they are both liquid bronzers, I find that they each have their own unique contribution to my makeup routine. Also with BoBo Do's brushes, and we're gonna get into it. But first, let me start with what I just showed, these liquid bronzers, as well as the Glossier Cloud Paint. I don't use that one as much. I think because it's a tube, and that's not an issue because I've been slapping on makeup back of hand for I think 2 months now. That has been my go-to technique of choice when applying complexion products. I think it is one of the best ways to ensure a skin-like finish, especially because you have better control over the amount of makeup you apply on your skin. And going into how I use these differently, allow me to start with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt, there it is, thank you for focusing, liquid bronzer. Now this is considered a bronzing serum. My apologies, I refer to it as a liquid bronzer. Makeup by Mario refers to it as a bronzer serum. I think that is appropriate, an appropriate choice, because it does act like a serum and I quite enjoy its texture, its lightweightness, and the fact that when you apply it on your skin, it's not heavy at all. There's a little bit of a pearlescent finish that naturally leaves behind a soft focus sheen on the skin, lessening the appearance of blemishes and imperfections, and it doesn't overtake the complexion. It's almost as if it's providing that veil of bronze. And how I've been personally using it is mixing the bronzing serum with my Suqqu Foundation. This is in shade 040, and 040, although dead on complexion match for the majority of the year, when we get into the summer months, it can be quite light. And now I rely on the Soft Sculpt to adjust the depth a little bit without having to purchase an entirely new foundation, because although she's low, okay, we're getting close to finishing it, I still want to use this foundation for as long as I can. And if it means doing so by just providing a little bit of adjustment from another makeup product, then sign me up. And what I have been doing primarily, I mix the Soft Sculpt with my Suqqu Foundation, and the adjustment is perfect. It provides a little bit of that warmth while still expressing the same undertone of the foundation. I'm just kind of dialing up, I guess, the depth a little bit so it doesn't appear as light upon application. I also love this Soft Sculpt bronzer as a standalone makeup product. Another way I've been applying it is just stamping it on the majority of my face. And again, and you can see this in my bronzer video where I showcase not only these two but the Glossier, and comparing the different textures, the colors, and the undertones. I find that the bronzing serum just provides a lightweight, diffusing bronzing color on the cheeks, and I adore the way it provides that color and a little bit of coverage, not a whole lot, again, because it's a serum. It's still lightweight in that nature. I think the Saie provides a little bit more coverage, but when I use the serum, I think it is outstanding and remarkable at how well it blends on the skin. It blends effortlessly, practically sinks into the skin, melts into it. And whether I use this solo or I mix it with the Suqqu, it has been an incredible experience with this product. By far, out of all the Makeup by Mario products that I own, and I don't own all of them, some of them, this has to be one of my favorite releases from him. 100%. I think he nailed the product, the intentions behind it, spot on, incredible makeup product, and allow me to now follow through with the Saie, because I'm sure you're wondering, well, if you have the Makeup by Mario, did you really need the Saie? This is in Stinson. Now, Stinson is the prescribed shade match or recommendation for tan to deep. It doesn't address my part of the complexion spectrum, because that shade, I think Sprint and another one I could have used, were sold out at the Sephora I visited. I used Stinson as my bronzer of choice when I applied the Soft Sculpt and Suqqu cocktail all over. That is now the bronzing color that will provide a little more color and heat. And my goodness, the way the Saie blends also is beautiful. I don't have it on today because I apply the Suqqu as my cheek product of choice, but when I use the Saie, but I could easily apply the Saie and the Suqqu Cream Touch blush products, which we'll get to in a minute, together, and they don't appear muddy. It just appears as a soft gradient on my cheeks. And again, from a blending standpoint in regards to the Saie Dew Bronze, extraordinary. I also apply this on the back of my hand, but you could also dot it along the cheekbones and higher edges of the forehead, and it will still blend out easily. I like to just even out the consistency first before going on my face. That's just my preferred method. But again, both of these are incredible. And yes, I understand if you're on a budget, and for practical means, you most certainly don't need 2 liquid bronzing products, but you can find a way to use them both successfully. Yes. Not necessary, however. If you want both, I would mix the bronzing serum with foundation, and I will use the Saie as another color altogether. That's the reason why I went with Stinson. Yes, to compare the consistencies and the shades, but I wanted a deeper color of bronze, so there can be some distinction, right? I didn't want this to be similar in color to the Soft Sculpt. I think that would have been redundant, right? Which is why I wanted the Soft Sculpt around my complexion spectrum shade, so I can mix it with the Suqqu and then have something with a little more color intensity for the bronzing purposes to be applied on top. And that has been my complexion cocktail. Today I apply some of the Dior Star Filter in 3N on the cheekbones, and liquid highlighters of sorts have been my go-to product for highlighter for the summertime. I think the texture imbues just more of a natural dewy finish to the skin that's very much summer-like in terms of the look, in terms of the feel that's provided on the complexion. Definitely love the entire gamut of products when it comes to that step. Sometimes I apply the Star Filter first and then the Soft Sculpt and Suqqu cocktail afterwards, slap on the Saie last, just to have that locked in bronzed complexion, flawless and beautiful. Which leads us into what I have now on the cheeks. And Suqqu released their Touch of Nectar collection, also known as their Global Summer collection for 2024. And they were kind to send me 2 of the Cream Touch blushes. I have it in both Kimitsu and SO2. I forgot the Japanese name for this shade, but it means like strawberry. Okay, it's giving strawberry. As well as the Quad in 139. Now, I didn't realize this at the time, and I think it sprung on me when I was watching the short I created with these products, that the reason why, and what I have on the eyes for this video, why I love this so much is because it is an edited yucca. If you look closely, it's giving yucca, maybe a little more softened and muted, but the vibe is similar, especially this color here. My goodness, I know not exactly the same as what's in Natasha's yucca. Natasha's yucca is definitely giving a lot more sparkle wham bam, which looking forward to golden. I already ordered her, she's on the way. This is Plantasia, right? And you can see how much more Plantasia is giving in terms of shine, right, compared to the Suqqu. Now, depending on where you're at with preference, people love Suqqu because it is softer, is a little more subdued and not in your face. But I get it if there's not enough shine for you from Suqqu, and that's fine, right? I have both palettes, and most certainly, if I wanted more of that pop, I could just take Plantasia on my lid, not a problem. Slap it on there, look, done. Extraordinary, but I just had to make that comparison because there was something chipping at me in trying to realize why I loved 139 so much in regards to the color curation, and it's because it's giving me yucca, which I truly believe one of Natasha's best. I have to film an updated ranking video because unfortunately with the introduction of yucca and xenon, there are a few that gotta be kicked off. It has to happen. So I will hopefully be able to film that video soon. But getting back, I'm sorry, I sidetracked a little bit. My apologies. These timestamps are going to be ridiculous. The Cream Touch Blush and Lip Pots. Initially, I was unsure. When I saw this product on the promo release that Suqqu sent, I didn't know if it was going to be tacky because it is formulated to be used on both lips and cheeks, and I have Kimitsu here on the lips as well, also on the center of my face. I didn't know how it would translate on the skin. Will it be too sticky and dewy? Will it be too shiny? I was envisioning a texture like the Denona Dew Bomb, which I'm personally not crazy about. Not one of my favorite releases products from the Denona brand. I love Denona products and I have a ton of favorites from her. That product in particular didn't align with as well as others. I was anticipating something like that, but ooh, was I off. The Cream Touch, yes, has a shiny finish to it and it is creamy. Yes, but the way it applies, the color richness and the adherence, the fact that it doesn't move makeup underneath, it just melts into the skin and leaves behind a beautiful natural finish here on the cheeks and delivers a soft delivery of color, but also rich at the same time. Because the strawberry color, you better be careful with this guy. This one will give, all right? It's like a red pink and it translates more red depending on your skin tone, your undertone. I had to like tap out a little bit because the initial application was like, whoa, and I had to soften it, making sure it was a little more diffused. But my goodness, these two have been my choice for the cheek look. I apply Kimitsu on the lower half and the strawberry color on the upper half, again, just to create that beautiful soft gradient from tan to strawberry. One of Suqqu's best cream cheek products. 100%. I think it's just unique in terms of the formulation, the application, and has pretty good staying power. Surprisingly so, despite it being a cream product and not a cream product with a soft matte finish like Denona's Blurring Balm Flushed or even Phytosurgeon's Skin Spark Blush Bombs. It's still, I think, decent in holding power. And yes, you most certainly can reinforce it by applying a powder product underneath or tapping some powder on top. But I would predict, even if you were to just slap this on bare skin, I don't think it has bad staying power at all. Definitely longer than Mother's Pat's Color Bomb Sticks, for sure. And that leads me into, okay, Natasha's powder foundation, which surprisingly, I use this product to set my Suqqu Soft Sculpt cocktail. When I apply the Makeup by Mario and the Suqqu and I apply my highlight and I lightly tap on the powder foundation just to set and provide a little bit more coverage. And I anticipate I would use this in the same way when my Lisa Eldridge skin tint arrives. I finally ordered it. Mom was nice enough to help me out with some makeup products this month, and shout out to her for sponsoring the Lisa Eldridge video that is coming up soon. I predict that I'll rely on the skin tint to even out my overall complexion and will pat on a little bit of the powder foundation to provide a little bit more coverage, but also some longevity. You know, if we're getting into the warmer conditions, because it's only June, I would assume that the powder foundation will help to soak up that excess oil. I also have Denona's Blurring Balm, which is an outstanding product for that reason. However, I do thoroughly enjoy the powder foundation from Natasha Denona. I think it is finely milled, beautifully blends into the skin despite it being a powder. This is quite soft and silky for a powder foundation. And the fact that I apply this on top of the Suqqu, not bad in terms of leaving behind a smooth skin look, airbrushed, polished, okay? It's great when all the products that you purchase play well together, you know, because in the end, you want to cocktail as much as possible. You want to mix and match. And when you are successful in that endeavor, where all has been applied and your skin looks like this, it's a good time. It's a good time. So I will continue using Natasha's powder foundation, especially now with Lisa's skin tint. I am anticipating delightfully how those two will blend together. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, how are you getting all this makeup on your skin, Alicia? I think by this time I would have liked to have already uploaded my Rephr video showcasing their new prototypes from their synthetic line. My apologies, getting the concealer brush. I thoroughly went over these two, comparing it to other brushes in my collection that are similar to these designs. These are the new prototypes from the first round that if you want to see how those did, we weren't crazy about them overall. I had suggested several iterations to be made to Rephr, and so have you, because at that time you could request for those brushes to be sent to you in exchange for feedback. And I think we all agreed that there had to be a slant, because I think slants just feel better on the pounce overall. It softens the contact between skin and bristle tip, so it doesn't feel as prickly. And although, as I had mentioned in that video, there's still a little bit of prickliness, by far not as much. That first prototype I thought was too dense and the surface area was too flat, where there needed to be a slant just again to give that brush a little bit of a moving groove on the skin. And the fact that the bristles have this softened gradient charcoal look to them, I think just bumped up the design and the overall elevation of the aesthetic. And the concealer brush, oh my goodness, this little guy, fantastic. I have been using these brushes nonstop for the entire month. My primary tools to apply all that I've just outlined, okay, from the Suqqu, the liquid bronzers, and although I could use this with the powder foundation if I wanted coverage, all right, you tap that on, it's gonna look flawless. But I have to devote this portion of the video and again express a huge thank you to BoBo Do, who runs FoodieBobo.com and was kind enough to send me a few selects from her website, specifically a few of her collaborations with Chikuhodo and Koyudo. And my goodness, never have I looked forward to the powder portion of my complexion as much as I have ever since this brush entered the chat. This is the Chikuhodo collaboration. The Owl powder brush is a mixture of Gray Squirrel and Saie Go, and my goodness, this is what I use to apply the powder foundation. Again, I want to control the level of coverage, not overwhelm the skin, but still have enough on there to just get that flawless look going without the heaviness. And also, if I really wanted to get crazy, I'm just thinking about it now, I can go in with the soft sculpt first, all right, and then follow with Mother's Divine Bronze. With this brush, stop it right now. It's too much. Just get it all on there. It applies powders flawlessly because it's so soft and not too dense. It envelops the contours of your face and infuses the skin with color easily. You don't have to over manipulate and swirl and twirl for days. You're just there. Right here. In addition to her Nebula collection, this brush is remarkable. The slant, the mixture of the Gray Squirrel and Saie Go, okay, enough said, as well as her Koyudo foundation brush. Woo-wee! I don't like using this brush often because it is natural hair and definitely has a higher risk of damage if used with liquids often, which is why I primarily rely on my Rephr brush or my Mizuho CMP 510 or other synthetic brushes that I have in my collection. But allow me to show the eye brushes that I took along for the ride when I was at Maddie's house. The Koyudo eye set, oh my goodness, these are just gorgeous, covering all eye tasks top to bottom, in addition to the Nebula eye brushes that BoBo also sent. I have the Weasel brush, which one of you had asked if it was a good pick for those hard to pick up textures for eyeshadow. Absolutely. Even though it's a stiffer brush, it's still soft on the skin. Remarkable if you need that tool for those grittier eyeshadow textures, but you still want the application to feel soft and not stabby. There you go. And the bigger shadow brush, what I use to apply that Suqqu color on the lid primarily, and I also used it to brush through a matte through the crease. Okay, listen, I've been using these ever since these arrived, and she's sending more. She's sending more. I can't wait to get that package. Outstanding tools. And again, I have an extensive video going through each brush, how it looks like up close, what makeup items that I use with them. Incredible. Oh, we got one more item to share, or I should say several. The newly formulated ESUM dual-ended lip and eyeliners. A huge thank you to ESUM for sending these in a beautifully just cute pouch here. I'm keeping the pouch. Both lips and eyes. I believe we have 5 in each category. And what's special about them is that not only do you get one color, but you get a complimentary second color. This is dual lip liner in number 1. And this tan color goes beautifully well with Kimitsu. I actually forgot that I had this on standby. Usually what happens, I need to have everything on the desk in front of me or else I'll forget. This, beautiful with Kimitsu. It's basically the same freaking shade. Okay, Kimitsu is giving a little more peach, however, but at number 1 is a nice neutral undertone to kind of border that color. And on the other end, you have this chocolate brown, right? So if you wanted to add a little more definition and depth, you can do so on the outer portion of your lips. You have the more rosy shades, the peachy coral shade, the tangerine shade for the lip. And I have a few of these in action on a short. I would like to film a dedicated video using all pencils, so stay tuned for that. I just haven't gotten to it yet. As well as the maroon and the plum. For the eyeliners are pretty cool because one side you have a matte color and the corresponding side you have a metallic color. Well, this one I believe, let's see here, we have dual eye pencil, navy and silver. So the navy side, oh gosh, no, I was too rough. Sorry, little pencil. I broke the tip. This is the navy color, okay, but once you put it on, it's not budging. These have fantastic staying power, not only on the lip, but on the eyes. And let me be gentle with the silver. All right, the metallic side, you see the metallic finish for the silver, gorgeous. The brown citrine side, ooh, we got brown here. Let me be gentle, creamy on the application. Just look how smooth that is. Look how smooth that pencil is with the matte. So you could use it on the waterline or on your lash line. And if you want the highlight without using a powder, then you can use the metallic side. I could even use it here. So if I wanted that metallic finish on the waterline, I could just carefully sketch to get that shine. Isn't that beautiful? And you could also be more precise with the application. If you just wanted highlight on the inner corners of the eye without having to use a powder, you could use the pencil instead of an eyeshadow. And I believe we have 5 colors in all for the eye pencils. So stay tuned for a dedicated video using the ESUM pencils because I just wanted to get a little more in-depth using these and providing just different ideas for you if you wanted a few of them, all of them, and figuring out how to use them best. And I think that's it. That is it. I didn't have any lifestyle favorite. I think perhaps it's because I'm producing more lifestyle content on my channel. For instance, I uploaded a what to wear video. If you wanted to see what the wardrobe was like and what I like to wear, well, there you go. I also uploaded a beginner stretch video. I uploaded a how to quit sugar video. I'm trying again to looking to produce more content that speaks to my online coaching, but also still wanting to provide beauty content as well because I love both. And why not plop it all on there on one channel? So that has been it. Not only enjoying the new items I acquired in May, but also still thoroughly enjoying the ones I purchased in April. And I think it's important for me also to remember what I got the month before and the month before, to not lose sight of those purchases, to still integrate them in my routine so they don't get lost in the drawer, right? And I've been having a ball. I have been loving the makeup purchases and grateful for the opportunity to be able not only receive PR, but also have the opportunity to buy because yes, the finances have been a little tight. They're a little tight in May. I had a few financial commitments to make, which just means I have to be a little more careful with the spending. Huge thank you to Mom for helping us out in still purchasing new items because I understand that reviewing high makeup, it's still prevalent here on the YouTube space. And I think it's okay to buy new makeup. I'm just careful with how much I purchase, and primarily I'm purchasing what interests me. I'm not purchasing everything that's new and trying everything out just to review it. I'm just not in that position to do so, unfortunately. With that said, I'm looking forward to the items I purchased from Lisa Eldridge, as well as a few items I purchased from Sephora. The golden's on the way, the highlighter trio, and I got this stupid gloss. And I purchased House Labs, the glass, the cheek the cheek sticks, as well as the Ness's Low Light in one shade. I'm looking forward to that purchase to arrive, so stay tuned for some new makeup. Let me know if you had any standout purchases in May, if you've just been using what you bought in April, what your favorites have been. I'll see you down in those comments, family. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, monthly favorites, or Natasha Denona's golden collection. Stay tuned for that. Take care, and I will see you again soon.